Hi, I'm Clive. I'm chairman of WestJet, in case you didn't know that. And I wanted to take this opportunity to speak to you as a group of pilots, because I'm extremely distressed, not just I'm extremely distressed by some of the stories I'm hearing about the negotiations that are going on and the attitude that's being reflected by some of our pilots towards the new agreement that as it's being proposed. I think it's worthwhile just going back and reflecting a little bit on what made this company what it is today. You know, when we started WestJet back in 1996, a captain was $60,000 and a first officer was $40,000 a year. And that number has grown dramatically, as you all know. I'm not going to go and discuss that any further, but that's the reality of life. And as a result, our costs have climbed dramatically. Not just because of pilots' costs, but all our costs have climbed. But where we made the basis of this company, where this company succeeded, what made this company succeed from the outset, was an attitude that everybody had as to what can we do as a group to make sure this company continues to work. How do we work together? Our pilots worked 19 to 20 days a month, not the 16 we're down to now. Everybody pitched in to help, and no matter what the situation was, people volunteered to come in when we needed them. We didn't have to cancel flights as we're having to do now because pilots aren't prepared to volunteer. We didn't have to carry a reserve structure. It was all about what could we all do together to make sure this company was successful, not what is in it for me. And we designed our compensation system around the concept of if the company is successful, then we will all be successful financially, whether it's through stock or through profit sharing. Seems to me a lot of that's been lost. Seems to me that we're reverting back to, well, what's in it for me, not what can we do for the company. I got to tell you, that's the seed of, if we continue with that attitude will destroy this company just like it destroyed every other company, every other airline that's gone before us. Hence my concern, hence why I'm sitting here today addressing you. I don't know how we get out of this difficulty, because this has been a progression that's gone on for some time. We started out with the concept that we would pay 90% of market salaries. And in exchange for that, we would provide, in addition to that, profit share and stock. Over the years, that's been eroded. We're now paying full market salaries. Oh, by the way, we pay full market salaries to everybody except our executive team. We're now paying full market value, except to the pilots. Pilots in this company are now paid over market value. Let me put that in perspective a little bit for you. Our payroll burden, our cost to pay everybody in this company, runs $1 billion a year. If we had to pay everybody 10% in excess of market, as we are more than that with the pilots, that would cost us $100 million a year. Our profit last year was, say, $240, $250 million. Do you think we can keep doing that? Do you really imagine that this company can continue to survive if that's the attitude that everybody took? Everybody in this industry has taken leadership from the pilots. So what will happen is if we continue to pay pilots in excess of market, why wouldn't we pay everybody else in excess of market? It's quite logical, quite reasonable. But I can tell you, we will not survive. We will not survive that. People look at us and say, oh, look how successful we've been. We're successful in a Canadian context because our competitors are pretty disastrous for the time being. But who's growing the fastest in this country? Sunwing. What do they pay? What are their costs to their pilots? 20, 30% less than us? 40% less than us? It's of that magnitude. Look, I understand I may be addressing only a minority of the pilot group. We don't know. So I've purposely been fairly calm about how I've expressed myself. You haven't heard how I really feel. But I'd like to think that it is only a minority, and I think it's important that we nip this in the bud early. I know you all do a great job, and I know you work hard to a certain extent. This company was built on hard work and a willingness to be flexible in what we do. We need to get that back again. That's where we can really have a chance to make a difference. I think you all need to give your head a shake and ask yourselves, what are we all about? What have we come to? We're sounding just like Air Canada, just like the other airlines that were here before us. If we continue like this, as I said before, we will not survive. So I'm here to tell you, wake up, smell the roses, understand how successful we have been, yes, but understand how we got there. And I'd ask that you really take some time to really think and really understand what's being proposed before you vote. And for that purpose, I think it's important that we take some time and everybody comes in and listens to what the reality is here. I know our board will be really upset by the developments of the last few weeks, and I sincerely hope that we can get this thing back on track in the future.